Kelly Maddock is with us. This is Tim Ridley on Sirius XM 146. Kelly, good morning to you and Happy New Year.
Good morning. Good morning, Tim, and Happy New Year to you too.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm very well, thank you. A little cold here in Boston, but other than that, doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's cold down here on the Gulf Coast too. So normally I could make fun of you, but I can't now. We're pretty much almost in the same boat, just a little bit warmer down here than it is up there, minus the snow as well. But good to have you on. We hadn't talked to you since last year, but we're going to be talking about retention this morning. And as I often say, Kelly, is that a company can recruit and hire as many drivers as they want, but if they don't retain the drivers, if they don't have retention and just have a revolving door, they're not doing anything but spinning their wheels. So you've been hearing from companies that you work with in terms of what they're planning to do in 2018 as far as retention is concerned.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, Tim. Our prime objective when we work with these companies is really to help them recruit more drivers and supply them with qualified leads. And that's what we've been doing, but we've been sending over an abundance of leads to them, and they're just not retaining any of the drivers. So I would say the majority of our customers this year really want to focus on retention and keeping the drivers and making it a place where people want to stay and people want to join their company. So really, again, want to hear from the drivers what their companies are doing now to currently retain them. Some of our customers that we've spoken to, a couple of them are implementing a health challenge. Everybody, the new year's starting, so everybody's ready to start their new diet. So what they've done is they've started a health challenge where they're illustrating everything on social media. It's engaged throughout the entire company, which is another great thing because it's getting everybody involved. Because so often drivers do miss out on that interaction within the office. So it's a whole company-wide challenge, and then they've also hired on a couple health nutritionists too. So they're really, going the extra mile to show their support, to help the drivers, to get this team atmosphere ignited within the company. And I think that's a good step in the right direction. So a couple of our customers are currently doing that, which I think is a great step.
Yeah, that is a great step. Instituting, the health and awareness into the mix as well, which helps out. And then another thing, it shows that they care about the drivers too, because I think that is something that most, if not all, drivers are looking for. One of the many things is that from a company standpoint, that they feel that their company cares for them. They feel that the company, is concerned about them. So I think with the health and wellness thing, I think that will go a long way.
Agreed. And I also, it goes back to the drivers want to feel as though the company cares and that they're involved. And I know we've talked about this on previous segments, but really implementing that driver liaison. I know a lot of our customers have done that. And just, again, having somebody directly that the drivers can communicate with, whether it's a bad day on the road or an issue with a dispatcher, just somebody that's there on their side listening to them and fighting for them. So the liaison has been a great success for companies that have implemented that from a retention standpoint as well.
Absolutely. 615-292-6366 is our number here if you would like to talk to Kelly. And Kelly, the calls are already coming in, so let's go to BR 549 in Georgia. Good morning to you. You're live on the show with Kelly.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. And I like exactly what she was saying. I think that, like my company that I work for, if we just had the respect and communication between each other, our company could be a whole lot better. We don't have it, and that's why we lose so many drivers. And put something in an example, it's just like every year we always get a Christmas bonus. This year they waited 2 days before Christmas to tell us you're not getting a Christmas bonus. And a lot of people bank on that Christmas bonus to help out on the bills or buy the gifts. And it's hard to find companies out there that has respect for the driver and that will communicate to when they have a bad day, like she was talking about.
Yeah, agreed. And that's unfortunate, that company did that. And I know it always comes down to budgets, but regardless, that's never a good way to go about it, waiting to the last minute. And a lot of times companies don't have the resources to have an internal liaison, and that's where social media can really help, fill that gap right there too. So even if someone could just go onto the Facebook page, send a message, just make a comment, again, you're able to communicate to some degree and get your voice out there and be able to be heard.
Right. And so, like, I talked to Dr. Tim earlier in the year about switching jobs and stuff like that, but I don't like change, and I have looked on Facebook at other companies, and that's how I'm doing my research. I want to get the best company I can, because I don't want to change again, So trying to find somebody that does have respect and communication and have somebody that you can go to, it's hard to find out there. Mm-hmm. But I appreciate everything y'all are doing right now. Thanks a lot.
Well, BR549, thanks to you, brother, and thanks to you, and Happy New Year to you, brother. And yeah, that's true. And the things that he mentioned as well, Kelly. So what I want to know is that with the companies that are not, you were mentioning that you guys would give them leads and they were not retaining. So it shows, number one, that there might be an issue there. Number two, which is good because they're trying to correct that issue. But have they spoken to you about what some of the problems may have been or may be?
Yeah, a lot of it is the internal process, to tell you the truth. They don't have a good internal system set up. So whether they don't have an applicant tracking system in place, they just don't have a good constant contact plan in place. So a lot of it falls back onto the companies with not being able to follow up with the amount of leads that they have, whether it be lack of resources or, again, the infrastructure in place in order to, obtain and follow up with all these leads that are coming in. It's a lot of companies that we found a lot of our customers are taking a hard look at their internal process. That's what they were doing at the end of the year to really, make sure they're doing a better job in 2018 in terms of retaining drivers and onboarding more qualified prospects with the abundance of leads that we're sending over. So I think a lot of it, and I think it's a great step that the companies are taking ownership and looking internally at what's happening versus, trying to place external blame. So they are taking initiatives and the right steps in the right direction.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference as well, because there's a big difference between knowing that there's a problem and not wanting to do anything about it, and knowing about it and wanting to do something about it. So they are wanting to correct it. Our number is 615-292-6366. We'll be going back to the phone lines on the other side of these messages. Kelly is with us. This is Tim Ridley. Retention is on the table for discussion on Sirius XM Road Dog Trucking. 46 minutes past the hour. Kelly is with me, and retention is what we're talking about. We're going to go back to the phone lines, and we have Pat with us in Pennsylvania. Pat, good morning. You're live on the show with Kelly.
Morning. It's actually Taz.
Oh, sorry about that, Taz. Okay. Good morning to you, and Happy New Year.
For retention, the company I work with, they guarantee us our miles. They have benefits. They have great benefits, and they know that most of the drivers out on the road, their rider makes money to take care of their family. So if we want time off to give with our family, as long as we give them a 2-week notice, we are almost always guaranteed to get the time off. We can be home, be with our families for the time that we need to be home and such. And that's what makes it where you want to do your job. Because if you don't get that, some people don't keep their promises, they're not going to keep their drivers.
And I think that's a great point because a lot of the complaints that we hear in terms of retention is lack of home time. So I think that's a phenomenal job that your company's doing in terms of allowing that home time when necessary, as long as there's notice given, because like you just said, that's going to keep you there and you feel respected and you're able to see your family. So I think your company's doing a great job.
Right. And like that, I've been with them for a few months now. I've been with 3 different companies. Some of them you ask for time off, and it's like, well, because basically where I live, I don't actually live in what they generate as the shipping lanes. I live in the middle. I live in Indiana, and pretty much in the middle of nowhere where I'm at. But my company does get me home. It's like if I pop, I go home empty, and then get a couple days off, and drive, go pick up your loads, stop off. If they get me there where I want to be there, that's what matters to me. Because my reason for being out here is to make money to take care of my family. That's all I care about.
And that's great. And I know that a lot of over-the-road companies are looking at ways to be able to get their drivers home more often, whether it's taking more, local runs, regional runs, whether they're having some relays in place. They really are trying to think outside the box in terms of being able to get their drivers home when needed. So I think your company, again, is doing a phenomenal job, and it's great that you're happy with their ability to get you home.
All right, Pat, thank you so much. Yeah, Taz, I'm still calling you that. Sorry, Taz. Have a great one, my friend, and be safe out there, brother. Let's go to Carrie. Carrie is with us in Ohio. Carrie, good morning. You're live on the show with Kelly.
Good morning. So I think for retention to work at a company, they have to, look at seniority. I mean, when a driver puts his time into the job, and for instance, I'm talking about myself. I was almost a 2 million miler at a company, and I left because I kept putting myself out there for different programs and try to make open more accounts for the company. And they just kept overlooking me and putting the newer drivers that they were having come in at these new locations, and there were different locations that I was asking for, and I was thinking, you put your time in and you put your foot forward and you're out there and they overlook you.
Yeah, that's unfortunate when that happens. And, back to the retention piece, a lot of companies that do, promote from within and, help give the top drivers that have been with them for a while those lanes or those locations that they want, that really helps with the retention. So that's unfortunate that your company isn't able to do that.
But I'm better off now. I'm an owner-operator, so I'm really happy now. I mean, I'm just ecstatic. Everybody around me goes, "You sound like a different person." I'm saying, "Yeah, I'm so happy." So everything worked out better.
Everything is for a reason. So it worked out where you got your own truck and now you're happy. Well, that's great, Carrie. Well, thanks for all you do, brother. Have a good one.
Happy New Year.
You too. Happy New Year to you as well. Let's go to Tonto in Pennsylvania. Good morning, and you're live on the show with Kelly.
Good morning.
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 I work for a great company. Okay, I love my job now. When I first came into this industry, I worked for one of those big national companies, and man, they just treated you like crap. Getting home was like hard. I got home 4 times in 1 year. 4 times, that's it. Okay.
Wow.
Now I get home every 10 to 14 days. If I need to be home, I call up my dispatch and I go, "I need to be home this date." He will go through hell and high water to get me there. Okay? They do bonuses. They have great bonus programs. But the real thing and they have great retention. Okay? The real thing about the retention is that you can walk into the office. I can walk right into the operations manager's office, sit down in front of him, and have a conversation if I need to. Or anybody else. I can walk into my dispatcher, anybody. I can walk in anywhere and talk to them. I can call any of these people up and talk to them. And that's really the thing, is that if I have to communicate something, I can.
That's great. And that is, one of the top things when it comes to retention is that communication piece. Again, being able to communicate whether it's something positive or if it's just a bad day, having the ability to be able to go in and to your operations manager or to anybody and talk about how you're feeling and what's going on is phenomenal. And that, again, is a huge, huge piece of retention. So very happy to hear your company's doing it right.
Yeah, now it's not a really big company. I mean, they only have like 70, 80 trucks, something like that. But, man, they keep me rolling, and they pay me well. So
And that's all you can ask for, isn't it?
That's right.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, and Thanks for all you do, my friend. Be safe out there, buddy. All right, and that makes a big difference because it's not that any driver is looking for the whole world to be given to him, but what he is looking for is respect and also dedication because I've always said, Kelly, that truck drivers are some of the most dedicated people in any industry, and so they're looking for the same. I know when I was out there looking for the same thing in return, the dedication to me as well, and a decent pay. And also, with what Tonto was saying as far as the open door policy, it makes a difference when you can go in there if you have a problem. You can go in there right into the office to, a manager to talk to them, and or even if you just wanted to peek in and say hello.
Right, I agree. And, a lot of times people don't understand how hard being a truck driver is, what a difficult job it is and how draining it is. And again, there is that lack of respect there and, they deserve all the respect in the world because without them, America would stop. And I think oftentimes people forget that. So I think the more that the internal process of the companies can remember that, the better off all the companies are going to be in terms of retention.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you have some things to go back with, and hopefully
I do.
They'll put some of these into play. Well, Kelly, always a pleasure to have you on. Happy New Year to you again, and make sure you pass that along to Jackie as well.
Will do. Thanks so much, Tim. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too now. Okay, well, it's about the end of my run here, and it's been a great ride.